This is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey. A dream.
Hello, viewers out there. You're welcome once again to our coverage of the World Cup right here on Sports Orbit. My name is Afa Acho Salifu. Usman is right here at me, Salifu. Welcome to Sports Orbit. And I'm sure it wasn't the kind of weekend you were expecting.
What?
Considering the ouster of, a team most considered as the brightest hope of Africa at the World Cup. That's talking about Senegal.
Well, one thing about football is the unique about football is that it's not about what you hope. It's about what can you be able to, what can you do
on the pitch.
So, as far as you are just hoping and you're not ready, you'll be put out of the competitions. People and you are beginning to see clearly that if you look at the way that's going, we are beginning to see clearly that those that have matters are already positioned themselves for the trophies.
Yeah. Sellers, welcome to the show once again on this wonderful Monday.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, we'll begin straight from that match. Of course, as England have already in the last 8 where they will meet defending champions France in that quarterfinal clash. But I mean, a lot of Africans have looked forward to that pairing, Senegal and England. Somehow, some Africans were hopeful that maybe the Senegalese will do something unusual, but not being pessimistic. For some of us who, when it comes to football, we analyze issues for me, I really did think Senegal had what it took to, defeat the Three Lions of England. And clearly, you could see the golf in class. Even the coach, Alucisi has said, England came out to give them some World Cup lessons. And like we always say, in the World Cup, sometimes it gets to the point where, like they say, the men will be separated from the boys. That is why if you even see the number of countries who have won the World Cup since it started, they're not up to 10 countries. That's to tell you that there are some certain traditional powers in football, and for a very long time, it will continue to be so.
Sure. I think you just said it succinctly.
Yeah.
I never thought that Senegal would beat England.
Yeah.
Of course, in football, nothing is
Impossible.
stone. We've seen some upsets already, but even those upsets, came in the way they came.
Yeah.
For Senegal, it was going to have it difficult with that money. Like the whole team was wired around money. Even though they managed to make it out of you see how they struggled, lost to the Netherlands, and go and so, and managed to beat 1 or 2 countries. So I knew that in my mind, I didn't expect an upset in that because you look at the England team, they have a class.
Yeah.
You look at the squad from beginning to end. You now look at yourself and say, which of these Senegalese can get a seat on the bench? How many of them will get a seat
in that squad?
In the squad. So that tells you the difference in terms of player quality.
Yeah.
You now look at the football tradition of England.
Yeah, exactly.
England was in the semi-final of last edition.
Semi-final.
Finish off.
And
final of the Euros.
They could easily have won it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that team has the same team, but they've just added some fresh young.
Exactly.
They have a mixture of experience and youth. And the people who are playing in England, the EPL is almost the toughest league in the world, the most competitive. So these people are getting high-level competition.
Exactly.
So there's nobody they're going to meet at the level of World Cup now. They have not played that kind of, Yes, that's why if you look at Nigeria, when Nigeria's league was competitive, between the traditional Rangers, ICC shooters, Benda Insurance, and the Station and that the league was very strong. We produce very tough players that can compete internationally.
Yeah.
Now we has gone so low, we can hardly produce such kind of
players.
Yes. Now you look at South African League. I don't want to just tell you. You see the quality is rising by the day. I saw them on TV, the speed of thought, the execution, everything. Felt that in a short time now, in fact, of late time I've beaten Nigeria club sides. in turn. So it's the same thing for the World Cup. We look at the APL at the level at which you're operating. Anybody they produce from that tradition, from the youth system to the intermediate to the senior team, when they come out, they'll be able to compete with the top in the world. And I cannot say for now that Senegal is top for now.
Wale has joined us. Wale, welcome to the program. Maybe soon I'll get to you, but nice to have you on the show today, Wale.
Thank you, Alpha. Good afternoon to Salifu and Silas right there in the studio. We thought Senegal was going to, go through, but we saw how they actually lost concentration. Just barely 5 minutes to halftime, we saw them, losing that concentration, and that actually, cost them that particular defeat against the Three Lions of England. So just back to you as you people continue the discussion.
Salifu, if you watch that game, almost similar to the Ghana game that day, when Ghana started, they started like a house on fire, took the game to the Uruguayans. Even the Senegalese yesterday, at some point, people were like, Senegal are doing well, making all the inroads and all of that. But England took the ball. In fact, that first goal, like we're saying in the newsroom, it was less than 5 touches. That's how you see purposeful football. Less than 5 touches, you see a side that is tactically sound. You put one pass, and the ball was in the net. And that will show you the gulf in class when it comes to tactical abilities. African teams have always fallen short when it comes to tactical, awareness between South Americans and European teams.
Yeah, you're very absolutely correct. If you look at the game, the round leader game, yes, traditionally Africa is not a traditional football where we can learn it from the Europeans who actually invented football. But even though in some occasions we try to match up to catch up, even though our attempt to match up is almost like naturally a match. Practically, one thing that is missing between Africans and the rest of the continent, the rest of our continent, Europe and South America, is a tactical discipline, which we can't hide it from it. We lack it. We don't have the tactical ability to compare with Europeans. Yes, Europeans, and that is why it's still yes. Like the question I keep on asking, we have produced great African players who have won everything that needed to be won in the game of football apart from the World Cup. One thing that has always been the missing between any African player, no matter how level you play to, is your ability to win the World Cup. You can win any other trophy, World Cup, just at any level, but to win the World Cup becomes easier for any other country. Simply because our football traditions is quite different from what. And just like you see, if you look at the countries who have won the World Cup, there are just very few. And I see this World Cup still going back to the same one of those traditional who have won the World Cup. Because you are beginning to see. The boys, as well as the boys are begin to be celebrated. Forget whatever attempt they like. This World Cup is definitely going back to those who have won it back before again. And if you look at the Senegals and England yesterday, just like the way we saw Uruguay and South Africa, Ghana, from the start, those who know how to play the game want to watch you first.
Exactly.
Try to summon you to see what size you up and see what you can do. And because Africa will take it to the gallery and because we are present with but by the time they catch up with another way, this is your ability, this is your living, this is your inefficiency. Then they capitalize on it, and before you know, you see yourself, you are down completely, and you find it difficult to match it up because they have already studied and they know who you are.
Completely. Looking at this up, so now just one African team left, and over the years, Africa has been making a case for adding our spots or our slots to the World Cup. But consistently, we go to every World Cup. And till today, no African team, the best we've done is quarterfinal. No African team has been able to even make it to the semi-final. One Asian team have even done that on 1 or 2 occasions, I can remember. Do you think Africa asking for an extra spot with this, is justifiable?
Well, I have to look like an African. I think we deserve to have more slots. There are some teams in Africa who, because of the competition, are knocked out of the competition. We do have Egypt there. Don't have Algeria there. Don't have Ivory Coast there. They have Nigeria there. These are traditional powerhouses that on a day can do better than even those who are there at the moment. So I think that if you look at Europe, they have 13 course.
13 slots.
Out of 32 or 24.
Out of 32,
Out of
he
30.
had 13. South
No,
Africa has
United
6.
got South America has 6. You know, and the Africa is almost like the second or the biggest confederation in the
Yes.
in FIFA.
Apart from Europe, I think Africa is next.
So, but you can see 5 to 13. It's too much. The gap is too much. I think they need to give Africa.
There's a reason for that.
No, the reason because first of all that like we are the small boys.
We are the small boys.
I thought it was 3. I thought it was 2. But it has gone to 5 now. We're going to move the sub from 16 first to 24 now to 32. I think that if they are being fair, they need to increase our sports because I believe that if you have more sports, you have more chance of teams who can spring a surprise. But in where you are boxed Nigeria and Ghana into one corner, I don't do corner. Why you are boxed Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire, one will come out. Why you also boxed Algeria and one of that Ghana, I think Ghana also. And also had Egypt losing to Senegal. So those are countries that could have given a good account of themselves. The more the merrier. In fact, if you look at this quarterfinal level now, how many of them are Europe? Out of the thing that came, how many of the Europeans are still standing? How many are South America? How many in relation to the number that came? You still find that relatively outside if Africa got 2 out of 5, you now look at how many Europeans. I've not done the count, but I know that a lot of European countries have also been knocked out of tournament. I think in South America, you have Argentina. And Brazil.
From South America, we only have Argentina progressing to the round of 16.
Yeah, so far.
From the Argentina and Brazil, from South America,
Argentina and Brazil.
And then from the north, from the just US, only US is from that side.
And they have even gone
that
now.
side. And from the Asian, we have only Japan and
South Korea.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I think
the Asian also have 5 slots, as we also have 5 slots. But one thing I want to say at this World Cup, I don't think that African performance in this World Cup, we will not say is total.
It's not so bad.
It's bad. If you look at our performance compared to the previous World Cup, you will also give African team a thumbs on the back because in the past, if you this is that African man only managed to win 3 matches in the round of 16 in the group stage. Overall, all the African team tried to win it, but in this particular World Cup, in the group stage, Africa won 7 matches. And
so everyone left with 6 points.
And at the same time, we have Morocco topping the group, winning their group. I think overall, if you look at it compared to the previous, I think this is the best performance of Africa team in recent time.
All right. Well, if you're still with us, right now the match will be on Croatia, Japan. One of these teams will make it through the final 8. Japan has been sort of a surprise also, how they qualify for the round of 16. And some bookmakers have a feeling that they might spring another one on Croatia. But Croatia being who they are, an experienced side when it comes to the World Cup, they know their ways around it. What do you expect to see from this match?
Of course, the game is like 15 minutes gone at this point in time, and Croatians are the one, asking all the question. The striker just actually missed a clear-cut chance. But at this point in time, is the battle of the midfield. If you get to dominate the midfield, I think you might get to stand a chance to win this particular game. And when you look at both teams, looking at the midfield of both teams, the likes of Luka Modric, the likes of Rakache, the likes of Kovacic that played for Chelsea, that the Croatia are the one that have like the best midfield when it comes to the World Cup, apart from Brazil, because looking at those experienced 3 players in the midfield, are doing all the magic. So the Croatia at this point they're winning all the balls in the midfield, making Japan to actually come outside. What they just need at this time is for them to get those passes behind the midfield of the of Japan and get the strikers to convert those chances. The World Cup has been very, very interesting. I've seen a lot of match watching encounter. At this point in time, you must actually not play as a team for you to win, and you must also take all your chances. I think what really affected, Senegal against England yesterday was they were not, playing as a team. We could see individual play. Every player wants to actually score. No player wants to actually pass the ball for each of the players to score. And looking at politics when it comes to selection of players also is one of the bane that has actually affected African teams. Going to the World Cup. We know the situation that happened between Ghana, Cameroon at the build up to the World Cup. I feel if we want to actually go far in World Cup, we need to actually separate politics away from football so that we can able to select the right players at every given time. But looking at this Japan Croatia game, I feel Croatia stand a chance to win this particular match. But Japan, with the kind of high press that they're actually playing this particular one, the counter attack might just be what will actually help them if they could actually get a win in this particular game. Alpha.
I mean, Salifo, Croatia, Japan. If you look at this Japanese side, defeated two former champions. First of all, pushed away Germany, then against all odds, still defeated a Spanish side whom some have considered to be one of the teams who might just be going home with the cup. Looking at this Japanese side against a Croatian side who play very hard football, very physical football, do you see the Japanese bringing another surprise?
Well, if you go looking at what the Japanese have done so far in this tournament, if you want to say that they will likely to be another surprise, you will not be wrong.
Yeah.
But one thing is, I look at this game is that against the Croatians, they are not. You will not say Croatians are not. If you look at the Croatian performance so far, they have not executed the way they play that take them to the final of the last World Cup in Russia. They have not been effective as they were 4 years ago. But they have managed to stay there, to hold themselves stay. If you look at the two match played, 2 draw, and then beat Canada 4-1. And another thing that is going for Croatia against any opposition is that they have a very tactical discipline side. It's a team that they have a very patient mind, and you can see how they frustrated Belgium. Despite all Belgium was trying to ask questions, try to suppress them, but they hold on to contain Belgium with all their attack, whatever they bring into the game, to contain it and ensure the forces and ensure that Belgium exited the tournament. So I know the Japan will come into the game with their speed, hoping that we have created fear into anybody, but they have enough Germans and Spain. But I believe that at the end of the day, the better side will still win, but the Croatians will definitely hold this game to the end.
I think Silas, like Salifu said, Croatia haven't really been fantastic, but they remind me of a certain Greek side in 2004 who surprised everyone by winning the Euro. There was really no game you could say the Greece played fantastic football, but somehow they struggled in every game. In fact, from the quarterfinal till the final, it was 1-0 till they won the cup. And they didn't play any beautiful football, but they ended up winning. Sometimes some teams will not give you the flair you need, but sometimes they know how to grind out results to take them all the way.
Yeah, if you look at them, they've not lost a match yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And they won their group without losing a match.
So they finished second.
And they finished second. So sometimes teams that slow burning teams who start slow and gradually pick up along the way, So the thing with Croatia is that it is loaded with quality all around. From goalkeeper to number 9 to number 11, it's loaded with quality. The kind of look at where they play. They're playing on the best clubs. In fact, some of the ones that are playing even in AC Milan, some even on the bench. Yeah. You understand? So the only thing good for Japan is that Japan have longevity. They can play for 2 hours without getting tired. That they have youth on their side. And then I will tell you that the element of surprise has gone. After they beat 2 former world champions, nobody going to touch Japan. I know Japan with any kind of look. They're not going to get that first. Exactly. They are accounted for big scarves already. So what I think that Croatia will do that, they talked about football tradition, what culture is bad. I remember watching Croatia in 1994. Yeah. Then they go to the semi-finals thereabouts. Wonderful team then. So
very well.
So they have a football culture that have evolved over the time, and they keep trying out to create players that play in big clubs. So they really have a culture that the Japanese don't have. What they are trying to do is to stay the world that we don't just come here to make up the numbers. They always come from Asia.
Yeah.
You know, but it always exist at first stage, second stage have gone. So maybe this time around they want to say, look, we can go a step further. So it depends on, it's a question of how much do they want it. They want to die on the pitch looking for this goal, or they want to, if you play football in the past, sometimes you enter a pitch and look at all the people that you're going to play against. You really have good people. I remember some former players used to say that when they lined up in front of Arsenal with Harry and Beckham and Co, they really know they lost the match from the beginning. They really try to make sure that the score is not scandalous. So if Japan can overcome such kind of initial fear and play them at their best, maybe they can get that. Get something. If you look at the Japanese, most of them are playing for top clubs too now.
Yes.
You know, in Asia, I mean in Europe, but you will not compare them to the quality of this. But football is 90 minutes and 11 minutes to 11 minutes. Depends on who wants it more on the day and who gets their. Japan, you know that as a country they like to plan, just like the Germans. The country that plan well. So if there's a country that plans well, maybe we can have a Japanese going for. I always like to side the underdog, and I'd like to see a new person winning the World Cup this time around.
Well, just like say, going by the way Japan has played so far, they are no longer underdog against the Croatia. But one thing is that it's going to be an interest. I'm saying that we see this one as the first match that will go into extra time. Okay. Because it will not be easily ended in this 90 minutes.
The youth is experience.
All right, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Next preview, Portugal will be up against Switzerland much later. Don't go nowhere.
This is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey. A dream.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back from that break. Yeah, so next match that will come up much later will be Portugal up against Switzerland. Switzerland too, you can say, has been a team that one can't really find the way of how to really describe them, but somehow they are in the round of 16. And where they really surprised me the most, well, if you're listening, watch that game against Serbia, how, they came all the way to take that game, by the neck. 3-2 it ended to book, their spot in the last 16. That shows you that this is a solid side. And I'm sure the Portuguese will have enough to worry about against the Swiss tonight.
Of course, no doubt about it. But I think it's Brazil and South Korea that will be playing tonight. Portugal will be playing Switzerland tomorrow. But looking at the game between Portugal and Switzerland, no doubt about it, it is a game between class of star players. It's a game between stars of players with a team. When you look at the Portuguese side, when the likes of Bruno Fernandes, you have Joe Felix, you have Ronaldo also in the mix, experience Pepe. Looking at all those players, it's a star-studded player. But when you're looking at the Switzerland team, just three players you can actually mention, talking a lot of Shaqiri and Ishaka, and also this a Nigerian guy that played for Manchester City that will be playing for Switzerland. But it's going to be a game where it's going to be decided in the middle of the pack also. But when you look at both team on paper, you expect the Portuguese, to overcome, the Switzerland. But this World Cup has been a World Cup of the underdogs. Who knows, Switzerland might just switch and tomorrow and get, to defeat Portugal, because I know that the Portuguese want to really play a center around Cristiano Ronaldo. And Cristiano Ronaldo at this point in time, cannot really carry the team to where they want, due to the fact that age is not on his side at this point in time. But I feel it's going to be a cracker. The pendulum can swing any side, but looking at it on paper, Portugal has the upper chance due to the kind of players they have in the Arsenal. But we know the World Cup has been the World Cup of surprises, where the likes of Portugal, Germany, Uruguay has been sent packing. But let's just see how it pans out. Switzerland might just stun Portugal at the end of the day. But I see still that Portugal they are sure of going into the quarterfinals alpha.
So, I mean, sellers, Brazil, South Korea, the Brazilians, one of the sides who have been tipped for some of us. Once Nigeria is not in the World Cup, I'm automatically a Brazilian, and they will be up against South Korea. Tonight, well, for looking on paper, Brazil will think this should be an easy tie. But even at that, Thiago Silva has warned his teammates. He said we should be wary of, Brazil. Of course, according to him, he said he has played against a certain son so many times, and he knows him very well. So they have to pay special attention to him.
Yeah,
and of course they'll have Neymar, their star boy, back tonight. So that should be a boost for the Brazilians.
Yes, that cope generally well without Neymar.
Yeah.
Nobody doubts Neymar's quality. What sometimes people look at this stage of his career is what is his commitment level. If you look at Ronaldo, that put his class. You see, even though Ronaldo don't put at his best, you know that Ronaldo gives 100% whatever he has. In defense of his country. Neymar has not managed to convince me that has that kind of focus for a world champion. I know that won the Olympics.
Yeah.
You look at it, many times I see other people in that club, in that Brazil team, shouldering the responsibility of carrying the team.
Yeah.
He's a star boy, he will take all the But so far, even this the one match even played, I didn't really see anything.
Very well.
I didn't see anything he did in the tournament. Now, if you even go to the cup side, I want to quickly. You find out that Neymar and others are carrying the team for him, so he do well. But the kind of quality he has in him was supposed to be the sort of Messi.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not showing it. So, but coming to Korea, and they need to be careful with Koreans.
Very well.
But not just because son, if you consider on so alone, the other people there,
of course,
who can
they have a very decent squad also.
On paper. But should win it. They all lost the last one because they played a new, a different 11 because they're qualified. And
Exactly.
But these are going to come without all their people. So I think even the culture of Brazil will send some fear down the side of Korea. Like this is the end of the road, but let's do the best you can do. So
Exactly.
I just hope, because I like Brazil to go for that. It gives Brazil has become like an institution in the World Cup.
So
if they're not there,
say, what's the World Cup without Brazil?
So they can't. We don't want to go right now. Let them stay in the semi-final, but let them still stay in the competition. But I believe they should be able to win this match.
Like Sellers rightly said, Brazil, South Korea. Everybody who knows about football, who has heard about Brazil, should believe that Brazil should be able to take this one.
Yeah, everybody will still believe that Brazil should be able to take this one. Just like we all believe that Brazil should be able to win all their 3 group matches, but surprisingly, Cameroon beat them. So just like we hope that Brazil should be winning every World Cup. The last time they won the World Cup was 2002, and since then, this 20 years now, they have not won the World Cup. So it's clearly show that football is not only about Brazil anymore. And at the same time, yes, Brazil name traditions, their pedigree, send signals, send fears into anybody open their mind. But South Korea will approach this man without any fear, believing that yes, if Cameroon can beat them, we can also beat them. And just like Salah say, to me, if I'm a coach, if I'm title, I would rather rest Neymar in this match than to play Neymar. Because I don't see Neymar could be a distraction in this game. I don't see anything Neymar is going to bring. But if I'm in the position of a coach, I would rather have a focused youthful team who are ready to kill themselves on the pitch than a Neymar who has never one day show responsibility to take the Brazilian to have the Brazil at his back. You see the match between Poland and England yesterday. You see Kylian Mbappe stand out as a star ball in that team for France. Created the goal and scored the 2 goals. That is it. But Neymar is just like his commitment to national, his commitment to Brazil is always come short of his pedigree as a player. And if I'm in his position, and now that he's even half fit, I would rather rest him than to just throw away that chances. But and they need to be careful against the South Africa, because the South Africa is not coming to this month with any respect of Brazil.
All right. Before we quickly leave the studio, don't forget that the National Sports Festival is currently on, and as it is right now, of course, Ogun, Oyo are pushing for second spot as Delta are still maintaining the lead. Recall that Team Delta won in the last sports festival, which was held in neighboring Edo State, and this time as host, they are planning to retain their first position once again. And as it stands, Delta are leading so far. So as the days go by, we'll keep giving you updates on the sports festival, also as it progresses alongside our regular updates of the World Cup. So that's that for today.
It's really unfortunate that the World Cup was taking the sign off.
Exactly.
Nobody even knew that.
Exactly. Yeah, but in the next couple of days, we'll do our best to give you updates of the National Sports Festival. Also, like Sports Minister Sunday Dare calls it, the Nigerian Olympics. So he deserves some of our attention. Salifud, thank you for being in the studio today.
Thank you so much.
Silas, also thank you for coming around. All right, Wale, tomorrow will be another day. We hope to have a fuller and bigger package. Also, keep an eye on the Nigerian Olympics, because tomorrow we'll talk a lot more about it also on this show. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Alpha, for having me. Good afternoon to everyone in the studio. Bye-bye for now.
All right, until we come your way tomorrow again, stay safe out there. My name is Alpha Acho, and it's bye-bye for now.
This is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.